Let's talk about Medicare Advantage plans and pre-existing conditions. We all know that pre-existing conditions can be anything from a heart attack to cancer, stroke, maybe diabetes, things like that. Neuropathy, all of those kind of things can be pre-existing conditions. Would it affect you getting original Medicare Part B? The answer is no. Original Medicare Part B, A and B, is a federally run program. And it is mandatory when you turn 65 or you are new to Part B as in boy. But there's no pre-existing. Everybody can have original Medicare when they turn 65 or they are new to Medicare Part B as in boy. So they're not going to ask you questions if you've had cancer or you've had, diabetes or you've had a stroke or any of these things because it's a federally run program. If you have credible coverage, it doesn't really matter. Credible coverage is going to be 20 or more employees, either with your employer or a spouse's employer. You don't have to get onto Medicare Part B. So you might delay it and do it later on down the road when you're 69, 70, whatever. And then when your Part B as in boy is effective, when you finally do retire, there's no health questions asked. When are there health questions asked for credible coverage? Would it be with a Medicare supplement, also known as a Medigap? The answer is yes and no. When you are new to Medicare Part B, you have a 6-month period from the effective date of your Part B to get onto a Medicare supplement, also known as a Medigap. And when you do, that is called a guaranteed issue period. Guaranteed issue means that if I have cancer, nobody is going to ask me those questions. They might ask them, but it doesn't really matter if they do or not because it's not going to stop you from getting the guaranteed issue because that period allows anybody to get onto a Medicare supplement as long as you do it within that 6-month period. Then you don't have to worry about health questions and things like that. If I wait 2 years to get on a Medicare supplement and I've had a stroke or I've had cancer or I've had maybe diabetes with neuropathy, then they're going to say no to you. You're not going to pass underwriting. Now, is there pre-existing conditions to get on Medicare Advantage plan, also known as a Part C? That is no. There will never be any kind of health questions for that. So my suggestion to people is that if you want to get on a Medicare supplement, also known as a Medigap, you might want to try it if you can afford it and it works out and that's what you want during your guaranteed issue 6-month period from when your Part B, as in boy, is effective. All right. And then later on, if you decide you don't want a Medicare supplement, you can always switch to a Medicare Advantage plan. If you decide to go on a Medicare Advantage plan and 2 or 3 years down the road, you say to me, hey, I really want to get on that Medicare supplement, also known as a Medigap, but I've had a heart attack and maybe I've had cancer or diabetes or something, I'm not going to pass the underwriting because those would be considered pre-existing conditions. All right. If you guys have any questions about Medicare Advantage plans, also known as Part C, Medicare supplements, also known as Medigap, and pre-existing conditions, put them in the comments and I'll answer it for you. Have a great day.